It was arguably the greatest finish to a sporting event. Argentina ended the 36-year-old drought and finally got their hands on the FIFA World Cup trophy, defeating 2018 champions France 4-2 on penalties after the match thrillingly ended 3-3. Now, the fixture was billed as a contest between the footballing master Lionel Messi and Prodigy Kylian Mbappe, and they sure did not disappoint. Now, the Argentine captain scored twice and was at the heart of everything his team did right. But his younger counterpart was no less, with Mbappe scoring a hat-trick and pulling his team from jaws of defeat every single time during the 120 minutes of football. Now, eventually, the match was decided by spot kicks. While the Argentina players kept their cool and converted each of their 4 spot kicks, the French crumbled under pressure, with 2 of their players missing the penalties.
Se cumple el sueño, ahora sí, ahora podéis llevar la copa a casa.
Y sí, la verdad que sí, que ya está, ya no podemos pedir más nada, la verdad. Agradecer a Dios por todo lo que me dio, por terminar de esta manera, con esta copa tan deseada por mí, por mi compañero, por toda Argentina. Y nada, somos campeones del mundo.
Bueno, se lo darías al equipo también, seguramente, ¿no? Como siempre, porque realmente ellos venían, volvían, un test en lo físico, en lo futbolístico, el equipo se merece, todo el equipo está este trofeo.
Sí, obviamente, y no me voy a poner a repasar el partido ahora, no hace falta. Teníamos que ser campeones del mundo, lo somos. Más allá de cómo se dio el partido, no es momento del análisis, sino de disfrutar.
¿Qué le dirías a la gente, Leo? ¿Y es el último partido por ahí de un mundial o no? ¿No sabés? ¿O lo pensás o no?
No, seguramente el mundial sí, como ya lo dije, y nada, que nos espere, que tenemos muchas ganas de ir para allá y disfrutar con ellos.
To talk to us more about this super interesting match and the fact that Argentina has definitely won the World Cup, I have Gaurav Gupta joining me live. Gaurav, good morning, a very good morning indeed for everyone who of course did watch this particular match and just football fans across the world. But your first take about how exciting, this final was. At the end it was a nail-biting contest. Of course, at the initial part of the match, everyone thought it was going to be a one-sided game, but then things definitely changed around.
Absolutely, very good morning to you and all our viewers. This was clearly if all of us have woken up bleary-eyed after last night's thrills, we have to thank Messi and Kylian Mbappe and Mbappe and Argentina and France for providing us with perhaps the greatest final of all times across all sports, I would say. This was really absolutely an exceptional game. I mean, the two teams at the peak of their powers and, fighting it out, and you had the whole Messi emotional angle. And Argentina, I would actually credit France for making a match out of it, fighting back from 0-2 down, at that stage they look completely out, down and out, but from there to bounce back the way they did was absolutely unbelievable. I thought Kylian Mbappe was sensational, his 3 goals, which almost won the game for France, were exceptional. The third was a penalty, but the first goal and the second goal were awesome. And so were Argentina. For them to keep their cool, they deserve the trophy at the end of the day. And if you see the whole tournament, they lost the first game to Saudi Arabia 2-1, and at that time all their supporters were extremely worried, and perhaps Argentina also were very jittery that would they even they were in the danger of even being knocked out of the tournament. But from then on, Messi said that every game is going to be a final for us, and he kept his word. They played exceptionally well in every game, and they were thoroughly deserving winners. But what a final it was! Really, the words fail to describe it. It was sensational. It was a thriller-minute football. It was football at its best, and really no other sport, I think, can come close to providing these kind of thrills. The way the game kept on, it was like a seesaw battle. First, obviously Argentina was in the driver's seat, and then France fought back the way they did. When it came down to the penalties, France had every chance of going through, but then they missed their chances, and Argentina kept converting. Messi kept his cool. The others kept their cool in the Argentinian football team, and they sneaked home at the end of the day, and you had to feel for Mbappe. I mean, he was sensational. He was so good. He was the one who made the final into the apart from Messi, who made the Argentinian players and the other players who made the final into this kind of a humdinger, an absolute cracker. But at the end of the day, he was left sort of deprived of the title. I mean, going forward, you can expect Mbappe, France to win many more titles with players like Mbappe around. You have to give credit to France for making a match out of it. But overall, a sense absolutely thrilling and a cracking final, like perhaps a once in a lifetime kind of a contest.
I think the right way to put it probably is it was a Pesa Vasool match if you were to talk about it. But Gaurav, stay with me. We understand that my colleague Shinjoy earlier spoke to the Argentinian ambassador to India. Let's listen into that conversation and we'll further get talking about all that really made news in this particular final.
1986 and before that 1978. You had Kempes and Luque, you had Maradona and Valdano. Now you have Di Maria and of course Messi. Now tell me, which of the three is the greatest victory?
All three were great victories. I think 86 and this one were the more extraordinary. This last game was an extraordinary game, and well, Messi and Maradona are two superheroes.
Now, Messi, of course, finally got his chance to kiss the World Cup trophy, an achievement which all but confirmed his status as football's greatest of all time. But the Argentine superstar also reached several other landmarks, which may not be as big as the World Cup win, but similarly significant. Now, with his 2 goals in the final, Messi took his World Cup goal tally to 13, overtaking Brazilian great Pelé. Now, the 35-year-old also became the player with the highest number of goal contributions, that is 21, in the tournament's history. Now, Messi further became the first and only player to win 2 Golden Ball awards. And what comes as a bonus gift for Messi fans, the Argentine captain has announced that he will not retire from international football. Now, for more on this, I have Gaurav still with us to talk about this exciting match. But Gaurav, before we dive into the other star players of the tournament and, of course, of yesterday's match as well, the fact that this was much more than just it being, Messi's last World Cup. If you just look at those stats that we just read out for our viewers as well, quite an achievement, which is why he's called the greatest of all time. But also, on the other hand, we understand that he said that he's not going to retire from international football. Talk to us more on that front as well.
Well, the fact that I think clearly if Argentina would have lost in the earlier rounds or would have lost in yesterday's final, this would have certainly been Messi's sign off from the international stage. He was very clear about it. But I think he's still at the peak of his powers. I mean, the way he's providing assists, the way he's scoring goals, penalties, I think there's still a lot of fight left in him. Perhaps I am now not ruling out another World Cup in him as well, although he would be 39. But the way he's going right now, there's no issue on why he cannot. He's fit. He's pretty much solid. He's pretty much the fulcrum of the team. It's not like he's a burden. Or I mean, in Ronaldo's case, we had seen that he was substituted. He was not played to begin with. He was dropped. But that doesn't seem to be the case in Messi's case. If he keeps himself fit and keeps going like this, there's a pretty much a possibility you would see him in 26 in USA as well in the next World Cup. I think he's being sensible here. He realizes that there's still football left in him, and if he keeps going like this, I see him leading Argentina to a Copa America victory 2 years down the line, and then the World Cup. The basic fact is that he is still as motivated, to produce his best for Argentina. There was a point when he would get sick and tired of the barbs being directed at him, that he reserves his best for Barcelona. He doesn't give his all to Argentina. But I think now the kind of records that he has, this World Cup victory, which came after 36 long years for Argentina after 1986, and the whole happiness around it, I think has prompted him to change his decision, and his fans will be celebrating this fact as much as the Argentina won the World Cup, I think.
Absolutely, Gaurav. But the man of the moment, of course, is Lionel Messi and the entire Argentina team to have won the World Cup. But we can't rule out the fact that Mbappe really changed things around for France. In fact, at one point, we did believe that they would get ahead because of the way he just kept scoring goals. So, talk to us about that front as well, how he really kind of anchored the innings for France.
Absolutely, I mean, France were nowhere in this game, and it was Mbappe who brought them in with his goals. He was absolutely sensational, as I said earlier. He was fabulous, and he's just 21, 22, I think. He was I think a teenager in the last World Cup, some 17, 18-year-old, and he was exceptional in the last World Cup as well. The way he's going, in fact, I think at his age, he's 21, 22. I mean, at that age, I don't think even Messi and Ronaldo had achieved what Mbappe has achieved. So there's a sea of things that he can achieve. He can break all records. All the records created by Messi. The one that Messi just broke of Pele of the maximum amount of World Cup goals. Assists and stuff. I see France doing very well going forward in USA as well in 26 and in the other World Cups purely because they have a world class player, they have a top class player in Mbappe who's really another crowd puller and maybe not as skillful as Messi but certainly as dangerous and as lethal and as much of a crowd puller as any other player in the world. I mean you don't sort of keep reading his names when it comes to interclub football, but when it comes to France playing in World Cups, Mbappe is, oh my God, he's sensational. He's, head and shoulders above the rest. And you have to feel for him yesterday, after the game. I mean, he gave it his all. He was just, all over Argentina. And he was unstoppable. So really, he's an absolutely phenomenal player who I feel will be getting even better in another 4 years time and another 2 years time when France go into the Euros. Really, I mean, we are blessed to have watched such a player in action every 4 years.
Absolutely, Gaurav. I really appreciate you joining us on the broadcast and not only breaking down everything that transpired in the match, but the fact that you have given probably Messi fans also something to look forward to. But on that note, we leave it at that. And thank you once again for joining us on the broadcast. But of course, continuing to talk about the FIFA World Cup 2022, the world witnessed arguably the greatest ever FIFA World Cup final on Sunday. Now, from Brazil star Pelé to Jamaican runner Usain Bolt, from tennis legend Serena Williams to American actor Ryan Reynolds, in India, Prime Minister Narendra Modi led the way, while Bollywood's Badshah Shah Rukh Khan was not far behind. Now, several others in the beatdown, including Anil Kapoor, Karthik Aryan, Karishma Kapoor, Bhumi Pednekar, Preeti Zinta, extended their wishes to Argentina after their historic victory.